throwing gigantic chairs at gigantic army by the developers Astroport. It is a C++ game ported with DX portlib, and you can pick it up on Steam for $5.99 or whatever your regional equivalent of it is. And according to his Gigantic Army is a heartfelt homage to 16-bit era mech shooters such as Cybernator, Assault Suits, Vulcan, Metal Warriors, and Front Mission. I remember Front Mission. So, of course, we have our crazy-ass 4-chair metric. Cue the chair explanation. 1 chair means that it's complete garbage. 2 chairs means that it's meh. 3 chairs means you should probably check it out. And 4 chairs means... oh my god. Oh my god. Oh, I just spewed acid everywhere. But we also have our 4 categories of doom to which we rate our games. We have mixed with the working. How does it work? How does it run under the Linuxes? We have a couple different distributions we test on. Shiny and sounds, the auditory and visual mumbo jumbo that we all know and love. Controls is self-explanatory, and our final subjective category is fun, whether we enjoyed it or not. So, to kick this off, Ven, did Gigantic Army make with the working on your gigantic computer?
It made with such gigantic working on a computer of giganticness. I mean, it's like brilliant. This is our Ubuntu minimum test box, 1204, 770 powered system of business, as I like to call it, because it's in the business of giving the business, and the business is good.
It's nothing personal. It's just business.
It's all business. Didn't have any issues with it. Fired up out of the box, but, you know, something like this, I was a bit sketchy about it at first after reading how it was, you know, ported with this, and one guy came up with a bunch of neat tools to do it, and I was like, all right, fine, it worked. No issues with it, so I'm going to give it what it deserves. 4 chairs, but something tells me that's not going to be happening a lot.
Well, I gave this the beans on my A1050-800K powered Steam box, on my i5 30 some odd K with the NVIDIA 620M laptop, and my AMD Thuban 1090T with the NVIDIA 670 superclocked, all running Fedora 2064-bit, and it worked on all of them. Though there is one caveat: if you are using an Optimus laptop, you do gotta disable the Steam overlay, otherwise you get a bit of the crashiness. Pedro? Oh wait, no, that I didn't give my chair rating. 4 chairs.
Yeah.
Pedro.
Yeah, so on my calculator with an i3 370M and an ATI 5650 HD running the open source Mesa 10 drivers, it ran out of the box, no issues. On my old desktop PC with an NVIDIA 5600 GS, it also ran out of the box, no problems. So 4 chairs.
All right, well, that's 4 chairs from Niquist with the working. Up next is Shiny and Sounds. That's a bit weird. Ven, why don't you start off?
It's like I'm almost just fucking with you, isn't it? So
no, right?
Shiny and Sounds, let's take a little windowed view at this, and when I first looked at it, I was like, yeah, this does harken back to the 16-bit era of games, and it doesn't feel forced. What was that hipster RPG thing? Saturday morning
right. RPG coded in Unity with the weird pixel but 3D background thing.
That was so forced, it was miserable. But this actually looked legit. I mean, this is something that you could take to your mother and she would let you marry it. Didn't have any issues with the way it looked, because it reminded me, you know, I had a Neo Geo, I had the TurboGrafx 16, I had a Genesis, and it reminds me of that era. And it wasn't like a 2 gig game to make this. I mean, they kept it to about 100 megs, and I was like, well, this is either going to be complete shit or it's going to look just right. And I think it looked just right. Some of the level designs, you know, the way they looked, I'm going to ding it 1 for that. But, yeah, sounds, they're there. They're a bit higher quality than I would come to expect, but meh. 3 chairs. Look at that.
Oh my god!
Snow and hell.
A hipster pixel game that gets more than one chair. That. Anyways, aneurysms aside, I do have to agree with Ben. It does look like a Super Nintendo or a Sega Genesis game. The background, I do have to give the backgrounds credit. They do look like they're right out of that era, and a lot of the times there isn't that much detail in the backgrounds.
And the bosses,
but this, the bosses really do harken back to the whole "holy shit, this thing's massive." But I mean, for what it is, it's pretty good. The music, I was not really a fan of. I actually can't think of anything specific just because I heard it and then I blocked it out. So when I do that, there's generally something screechy and terrible that makes me want to stick knives in my ears. But all in all, it works for what it is. It's nothing revolutionary, but I mean, like there are beautiful 16-bit games out there.
Mm-hmm.
This is not one of them. I would say this is more your standard 16-bit fodder. So I would give it 2 chairs. It's a good middle of the road score. It doesn't do anything particularly wrong, but it doesn't do anything awesome either.
You know what this game does? It combines the old graphics, the 16-bit era type graphics, with the brown and the grays and the dark greens of realistic, high-quality games.
And Arabs.
Everything is either brown or gray or dark green. Then the guns sound like you're just spitting on a pea shooter, and they feel like that too. Most enemies, they just die as soon as anything blows on them, but the guns themselves sound so weak. 2 chairs.
All right, so that is 2 whole chairs for Shiny and Sounds. That's the middle of the road score. Coming up is Control. Then I heard this is the most precision-controlled game in the history of all games. It makes Guacamelee look like a pile of shit.
I know. You want to talk about tightening up the graphics? No. We need to tighten up the controls. I gave this a go with my X-Clone controller, which is a knockoff because I refuse to give Microsoft money directly. Here's how this went down. Well, I just might have to bring this back out. These, for this game, I like to call these suggestion sticks because that's what they are. I mean, the idea of precision or speed or anything like that is lost in translation, which I would have a whole different rant on that. Apparently, you can use this with the keyboard, maybe with a wireless gerbil. I have no idea. It did work out of the box with that, but the controls are so horrendous. The thing when you think about a 16-bit shooter, you think about twitchy movie, but boom, 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 boom. Fuck you. That's why I type action.
Yeah.
Even if it wasn't precise, it was fast, and it made you like shit. You know, that's why we're all twitchy and ADD squirrel. And this is like me trying to fucking, race dick after I've had 3 bottles of wine. It's slow and painful to watch, but I still try, and this game still tries, but, it fails miserably. 1 chair. Oh, you get. All
right, so I have 2 experiences with this game. So I tried this out on the Steam box. I plugged in this seizure-tastic controller here. Yeah, it's caught up on the microphone stand. I think it's radioactive. I feel something funny in my prostate.
Either that or it contains a human soul.
Yeah,
it's like my JO crystal. Anyways, so I gave this a whirl, and the controller didn't work. And I said, "Well, this sucks." So I picked up the wireless keyboard I have out there, and lo and behold, it's the standard emulator, controls arrow keys and ZXC, blah, 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 blah. And the first thing you notice is that if you need to aim up, it takes a good 2 seconds for you to move your reticule.
Mm-hmm.
And especially when you have to go fight the first boss. It's like, oh, there's a bunch of adjustments you need to make. All right, let me do those. Okay, they're done. Let's move. So I was very tempted to give it the 1 chair, but then these clowns told me, what the hell are you talking about? Controller support works. So I go and I plug Seizure Controller 9000 into this box here, and lo and behold, it works. And it actually works kind of decently. I think they may have released a patch to correct the control issues. So it actually does control a bit better, but the layout is a bit screwy. Why is your fire button A and not B? Because A is your jump button. Doesn't make any sense. So I'm going to give this 2 chairs for control.
Strange remappings and sweet mother of unresponsiveness. Jordan already kind of mentioned this, but you push up on your thingy, you push up, and the reticule doesn't move up. You need to move to one of the sides, and then it goes, oh yeah, right, you want it to go up, and it'll start going up. What the fuck? And seriously, the layout is completely ass backwards. I'm sorry, but this is 2014. I've come to expect a certain degree of, reliability from my controller. And even though I'm using a PS2 DualShock on Linux, which I'm well aware is not exactly well supported,
you keep saying that, but they did release a Linux dev kit for the PlayStation 2. I feel obligated to bring that up.
Yeah, but most of the times with most games, it doesn't work, while it works generally well with the Xbox controller, because the Xbox controller is apparently what everyone else has. So yeah, I understand that my controller may not be well supported, but I'm not the only one having issues. If you go to the Steam forums, everyone's having them. I'm going to give it 2 chairs because the controllers do work, but they're not responsive at all.
So that looks like it'll be a 1 chair for the control section. That's not looking too good. And finally, our subjective category, fun. Ven, did this tickle your asshole?
I wanted this to be fun. That's why I purchased all the copies. And I was like, all right, this is going to be a fast little sit-back, mindless experience of just mayhem, bullets, and mayonnaise, with a possible appearance by Airwolf. Those are my dreams. I'm sorry, we're talking about this pile of shit. That is gigantic whatever. I've already forgotten the name. Therapy. Good deal. No. There's no fun in this, mainly because it gives you the promise. I know everyone in chat room flipped the fuck out when I was like, all right, man, it's got the look, but it's got the look right. And if you do hipster pixel right, 16-bit's really not hipster pixel. 8-bit is, well, pseudo 8-bit is, Fox 8-bit is. This is, running this bullshit unknown Japanese engine that only does this. So it's kind of hard to say you're trying to make it look like this. That's pretty much all this fucking engine can do. Fun. No, controls suck. They're absolute rubbish. Fortunately, the AI is dumb as dirt. So you have all this time, because you're going to need it, to aim and move. And you move so slowly. I was really, truly didn't enjoy it. And your weapon selection, you're like, okay, you can have this gun, this gun, this gun. And that's about it. Shield, blocking things, boss fights are boss fights. I gave this as much time as I could, and even at such a low price. No. Run from this. It will make disparaging remarks about your mother. 1 chair. J-Man.
Yeah, I mean, the AI is pretty stupid. You can just kind of sit there with the scatter gun for a good 5 minutes and just clear out anything on screen. And that's about as long as it'll take you to re-aim anyways, so you might as well just do that. I don't know. I never really had any particular nostalgic attachments to these giant robot games. I liked Robotech for the Game Boy Advance, but that had some variability because you could turn into like a spaceship or like the hybrid or the mech. But that's beside the point. This game doesn't really do it for me. I think it's not entirely unsalvageable. Maybe a patch or two would fix that, but we're looking at the game as released, and the controls, like Ben said,
I
are
don't
garbage.
think it needs a hard mode. It just needs a faster mode.
Yeah,
It needs like, well, I mean, like not even the Super Nintendo is that slow. Fucking Mode 7's the shit out of whatever this game is. But yeah, this game doesn't really do it for me. I'll give it one chair. It could do better, and that's what's more disappointing about it.
Yep. Everything is slow. So fucking slow. Seriously,
Just like
I had more
Pedro.
fun looking this game up on Steam charts than I fucking did playing it. Seriously, go look it up. There's like an average of 3 people over the last month playing it. Last time I checked, there were 0 people currently playing it. So yeah,
Well,
stay
now there's 3 people playing it.
the fuck. Oh well, whole 3 of them.
300% increase.
Stay the fuck away. One chair.
All right, so that's one chair for fun. And if we tally all this nonsense up, we get a final score of 2 chairs. No? Yeah, 2 chairs.
2 chairs.
2 chairs. So, final thoughts. Like I said, this game has potential. It's not completely unsalvageable. It could be fixed. But this kind of stuff needs to be hammered out in this thing we like to call the development phase of the video game,
Yeah.
where you identify all these problems and then you correct them
No, not
before you
being
ship it out and give
concerned
it to
with any of
people
that.
to
Yeah,
buy.
they were definitely, good on the work of getting that particular hipster obscure engine that I'd not even heard of over to Linux. Poor execute. Maybe just a shit game. I don't want to blame the engine. It's slow. It feels like you're traveling like in a pool of sick or something like that. Just muddy and all that, hazy. No, don't buy it. Like J-Man said, you're not going to have fun with it because it's not what it promises. I mean, especially if you're my vintage, you're expecting like a, fast-paced little bullet hell shooter fly. Brr. No, this is like it's been specially tailored for children with a bit of Down syndrome that have issues with things like refined motor skills. But speaking of refined motor skills,
Yeah. This game
I see what
needs-
you did there.
No. But yeah, the game needs a faster mode. It definitely needs to be faster because I was playing it and I'm like, okay, the last game like this I actually played and enjoyed was Metal Slug. And you got your guys running around, and then you could get into tanks, and you could get into choppers, and you could get into camels and all that. And I enjoyed it.
Get to camels. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. So I enjoyed it. But this game, it's so slow. Seriously. Even the dash, if you dash, you move like 3 meters in front of yourself, and that's it. Why? Who in the development team play tested the game and thought, yeah, you know what? This slow is good. Slow is really good.
I'm gonna say whiskey.
No, I'm sorry, but I can't recommend this game at this point. Nope.
All right, so that's a 2 chair game with do not buy recommendation.